Hi, I'm Lou Stavros, owner of Drum Chops Drum School, found on the web at drumchops.com. I'd like to welcome you to this video of Basic Drums Lesson 2. In the first video we covered finding the proper seat height, and from there how to go about setting up your snare drum or your practice pad to be at the right height. In this video we're going to move on to holding the sticks and proper hand movement. Now, I realize there are a ton of technique videos out there. Joe Morello has a great one. Tommy Igoe has a great one. The problem I have with a lot of the videos that are on the market today is that they tend to take you from a very simple technique to a very advanced technique, or even multiple advanced techniques in a matter of minutes. So what I'd like to do is just focus on a very basic technique, and I feel if you get this down, then we can use the other techniques. I sort of call them add-on techniques, because basically they add on to the technique that I'm going to show you now. So learn this, be very comfortable with this, and then look for videos that I'm going to be posting in the future on finger technique and molar and so on and so forth. So first thing we need to do is get the right pair of sticks. I have a pair of Vic Firth American Classic 5As, and this is a good moderate stick, moderate weight, moderate length. 7A sticks are a little bit smaller. I recommend those for smaller students. The really small students, they have junior stick. Vic Firth makes them, as well as ProMark and some other companies. And then beyond that, it's a matter of finding the right stick for you. The better that you get at moving your hands and having your muscles trained to make these movements that I'm going to show you, the better it is to then go ahead and find a pair of sticks that are more comfortable for you. But to get started, I think a pair of 5A or 7A is the way to go. So let's get started with how to hold the sticks. Alright, the first thing we need to do is we need to relax. Nothing happens good if you're tense. You have to relax, and relaxation for a drummer starts at the shoulders. So a lot of times what you want to do is you want to just lay your hands down like this at your shoulders and relax, and then naturally pick up your hand. Okay, so we're going to do the right hand first. We're going to naturally pick up our hand, and where our hand is, we're going to place the stick. Seems too easy, doesn't it? Well, there's a couple of things to it that I'm going to get you some close-ups on, but I'll explain it to you here. What we want to do is we want to find that spot in between the two knuckles. There's the foreknuckle, and then there's the knuckle back here. And in between there is a spot where the stick is going to lay. When the stick lays there, your thumb pinches from the other side. Now when I say pinches, I mean very lightly. What we want to do is we want to create what's called a fulcrum, which means a pivot point. We're going to have a spot where if we did nothing else but this, we would be able to have control of the stick, but not be so tight with the grip that it falls away, or that we see any kind of whiteness in the nails, or too loose and we'll drop it. So it's sort of a combination, right, of how tight or loose can you be. The rest of the fingers just sort of fall into place one after the other around the stick, just to give you a little bit of support. Now if you're playing match grip, the left stick is exactly the same. You find the spot on the stick, that's the balance point, and then you put your thumb on the opposite side of your forefinger, and then wrap the other hand, the other fingers around. Now when you do this, you'll notice that the sticks, when they sit on the drum, are at an angle. It's about, I'm going to say 45 degrees. You can do this and you can see that there is an angle between the stick and the center of my torso here. And with the right stick, it's about the same. The tips of both sticks are headed right towards the same spot in the middle of the drum. And that's really what you want to do. You want to aim for the middle of the drum. Now you'll notice that both of my hands at this state are flat. And this is where students have a lot of problem. You'll see that they pick up the sticks and they have their forearms turned out and their thumbs facing up so they can actually see their thumbnails, and they play sort of like this. That's not the technique that I'm going to be showing you. I feel this technique is weaker and is also more prone to causing damage with the tendons and the muscles within your wrists and forearms. What we want to do is we want to spread our arms just a little bit and rotate our wrists so that the wrists are straight. From there, what you can do is you can pick your wrist up, the arms stay relaxed. The forearm is not going to move in this exercise. And the wrist is going to do the motion to bring your stick up. Same with the left hand, right? So we have down, and we have up. Down, up, down. Now in the down position, when you look, you should see basically the stick in between your forefinger and your thumb. Right? On both hands, you should see the stick in between the forefinger and the thumb. Your thumb and your forefinger don't lose its grip. And the angle is just right. Everything is very relaxed. Now, at this point, we bring the sticks up, again, from the wrists. Now, if this is feeling uncomfortable to you, by all means, drop your hands again. Pick them up slowly and place the stick in it. And then you'll see that the wrist is going to move up and down. Just like you're waving goodbye or you're holding on to a bicycle handlebar. Let's say you've got a motorcycle and you're going to use this little wrist movement, right, to get a little bit more speed, right? It's the same motion, right? It's not like this. Right? This is not a motion of power. Right? This is a motion of power. Why? Because what we're going to do is we're going to use the wrist to get started, but as we move along from our snare drum technique into drum set, and we start playing louder, then we have at our disposal the fingers behind it. Again, a different technique that I'll show in a later video. We have the forearm here. Again, a different technique that we'll show later. And if we had to use our arms, basically they will be used to move us from drum to drum, from drum to drum, from drum to cymbal. So the technique that we're going to use here with our wrists is the technique that you would use on the drum set as well. What you're going to do is you're going to use this technique, but then use your arms to move to the next instrument. Playing on the hi-hat, you move here. Playing on the small tom, you move here. But when I move up to here, it's still the wrist doing the work. Alright, so we're back down here. We bring our wrist straight up. And this is going to be a full stroke, where the stick will come down, hit the pad, and quickly snap back up to the top position. Now the motion going down, again, the wrist staying straight, slight angle on the stick, hitting the pad with the tip. That'll give you a slight bow in your wrist coming down if your drum is set up at the proper height. Once you hit, the idea is to quickly use the bounce and snap your wrist back up. So with the bounce off the pad or the drum, then it should not be two motions, right? And it should not be a real difficult motion. It should be nice and easy. Use that bounce and just let it come up, and use your wrist to let it come up too. Snap it. The reason why we want to get this good and nice and quick is because we're going to work on single strokes later and other strokes that involve multiple strokes with each hand, and it's really important that we're able to get the stick out of the way. So the upstroke is almost as important as the downstroke.
This marks the end of Lesson 2, Part 1. Check out Lesson 2, Part 2 on YouTube and on Facebook.